Hello,
Hi.
Tim. I would just like to start off by asking you how was your experiences in Notting Hill Carnival? What was it like? How did you feel? What was the atmosphere like? Did you enjoy yourself? Feel free to express yourself. I want all your past experiences, everything that happened. How did you feel? And how does it compare to Carnival now, if you still go Carnival?
What's changed?
I haven't actually been to Carnival for the last 3 years. Actually, it was about 4 years ago the last time I went. Compared to when I first went, there's so many more people going to it now. It's become quite sort of oppressive to some extent. I remember when I first went, when I was about 16. There seemed a lot less people, and people just seemed so much more relaxed wherever you went. There wasn't anything like the steaming that went on in the late 80s and 90s, which I was affected by, and I've experienced getting steamed at Carnival.
Oh my goodness.
Which is not a lot of fun.
Wow.
And I had stuff stolen from me, and it was beat up quite bad, but I just sort
Really?
of got over it. I said, look, it happens, and I carried on enjoying myself anyway.
Tell me some of your positives, your highlights, your best moments of what you enjoy, your most memorable moments.
Wow.
Most memorable, just finding a sound system that you really liked and that you were going to dance to,
Right.
and then following it, and then just staying with it and dancing for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Okay, you previously mentioned
Toasting.
would you like to address more on that topic? I'm really interested. I have not heard in toasting. What year was that introduced?
I mean, I actually didn't know it was toasting. I just knew that just down the road from where my friend lived, there was a little bar, and you could go into the bar, and it was full of black guys sitting around chanting in sort of in a West Indian accent. And I was wondering what the hell's going on in there. And I was a bit afraid to go in there at first, but I went in there. I got myself a drink and sat down and listening to doing their tasting. And it's rap basically. They do a poetry. They say something in rhythm, sometimes in a tune, and they tell a story. And then they would sort of almost pass it on to the next guy, or somebody over there would try. And I had a go doing it as well, but they laughed at me. But I didn't mind.
He's experienced
At least you experienced it. At least you enjoyed it.
I
Okay,
enjoyed it.
so they had music and they had a sound system, because another person I've interviewed said on a later date that they didn't have sound system. They only had steel pans. So
Really?
yeah,
Really?
at that time. So that was your
Really?
time.
And when I first went, they didn't have the big setups where they had the stages with.
Oh, they didn't have the
Well
stages
Beloved
then.
Park and stuff like that, where they had lots of people sort of on stage doing music. That wasn't all set up like that.
Right.
But as the years went by, I don't know how many sound stages there are now.
So how has the
At university.
atmosphere changed? Because the certain objects and stages and setups of Carnival has changed. How's the atmosphere changed now to then? Do you prefer it then or now?
Some of it is down to the people you're with. If you're with people who are nervous about being in a large crowd of people and squashed up and not knowing where you're going, or wondering if you're ever going to get anywhere near a toilet ever again in your life, because going for a pee while you're there can sometimes be a major issue.
Definitely.
As you might know.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Sorry, the question was, how do you feel about it now? Do you prefer it back then, or when you did toasting and experienced all of the music sound systems, because you talked about it so passionately? Would you prefer it now, because Carnival has changed?
It has changed.
Yeah, it has changed.
And it does depend on what day you go on.
Right.
As well,
Yes, it does.
I mean, if you go on the day with all the floats and everything else going on, that in itself is a completely different experience than if you go sort of in the middle of the night, say, and which can be quite a sort of a different experience. Can be quite impressive for some people.
Yeah.
But as long as you sort of keep yourself together and don't have all your jewels or whatever, or your phone out on on site, so nobody can sort of take them from you, because that does happen. You just got to use your head and play it safe and
So
have
you
fun.
don't mind whatever year? You don't mind then, or you don't mind now? You just
No, I mean, the last time I went, I had a really good time. I went up with all my sisters and brothers, in fact,
okay.
and we all went around. We got totally drunk, you know, and all helped each other back on the tubes at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time and your effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.